Namaste. Tonight I'm going to read Book 7, Chapter 24, on the stay of Harishchandra in the burning ground. Vakratuna Mahakaya Surya Kuti Samapanida Viganam Kurya Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Eva Maheshwara Sakshat Yom Tat Sat. Saunaka said, O Sutta, now describe as quickly as you can in detail what the king Harishchandra did afterwards in the house of the Chandala. Sutta said, when Vishwamitra went away, the mind of the Chandala was filled with joy. He already gave to Vishwamitra that amount of jewels, so he tied now the king, and telling him, do you now stand on the path of falsehood, began to beat him with sticks. The king was already very much tired of the bereavements from his dear ones. Now being beaten by the Chandala, his senses were lost. In this state, the Chandala took him to his house and fastened him with a chain. Then the Chandala's troubles were over, and he fell asleep. The king lived in the Chandala's house in that state, fettered by a chain. But he did not take any food there. Incessantly he wept for his wife and son and others. Alas, that thin lady, seeing the sad face of her son, is now remembering me with a morose face. She is now perhaps thinking with a grieved heart that whenever the king will get the money, he will pay off the promised money to the Brahmin and then will free us from this yoke of slavery. Alas, when will that day come? When will he see me and this crying child and then speak with us? When the son will cry, saying, I will go to my father, Father, when will he come and speak with the child? That fawn-eyed gentlewoman does not know that I am now placed under a Chandala. Alas, I am deprived of my kingdom, friends, and I have sold away my wife and son. Now I am bound in the chain of slavery of a Chandala. Alas, so many miseries have fallen on me, all one after another. Thus thinking incessantly about his dear consort and son, the king passed his days in the house of that Chandala. 4 days passed, and on the 5th day the Chandala came there and rebuked the king with very harsh words and freed him from his fastenings and said, go to the burial ground and collect the clothings of the dead bodies. There is a wide Smarsan burial ground on the southern part of Kashi. Go and protect that, and whatever is due to you, justly take that. Do not leave it. Take this Jara club and go there quickly. Say to all that you are the messenger of Viravahu, and this staff is his. Sutta said, O Rishis, thus Harishchandra became a Chandala's servant and was engaged in collecting the clothes of the dead persons. Thus ordered by the Chandala, whose duty was to collect the rags of the dead bodies, the king went to the burial ground to the south of the city. Kashi was situated the dreadful Smarshana, scattered over with the garlands of the dead. Bad odors were emitting on all sides, and it was covered all over with smoke. Hundreds of jackals were yelling there, and the ground was being reverberated by their yells. Vultures, jackals, and dogs were at many places dragging the dead bodies. At other places were scattered heaps of bones. The whole ground was covered with the putrid smell of the dead. At some places it seemed that From within the funeral pyre, the half-burnt dead bodies were laughing wildly with their teeth wide open from their mouths. Thus, the dead bodies looked terrible when being placed under fire. Lots of dead bodies were brought there, and there was a great tumultuous uproar made by the cries of their friends and relatives. "O my son, my friend, my relative, my brother, my child, my dear wife, O my cousin, O my grandfather, O my father, my grandson, my acquaintance, where hast thou gone leaving me here? Come once and let me have a sight of thee." With such dreadful sounds as these, the burial ground was being echoed. Flesh, marrow, fat, all were being burnt in the fire, and a particular sound, sun was being produced there and creating voidness in the minds of the people. The fire was burning with a crackling noise. Thus the Smarshana looked very terrible, as if the universe was being destroyed at the end of a kalpa. The king Harishchandra arrived there, and with extreme pain he began to give vent to his sorrows. "My minister's servants, where are you all now? Where are you all now? Where is kingdom that I got by a succession of inheritance? O my son, O my dear wife, where are you staying now? At what a long distance, leaving me here, out of the Brahmin's anger, without dharma, man can never get auspicious fruits. So men should carefully earn dharma." The king, whose body was covered with dust and dirt, thought thus repeatedly, and at last, remembering the Chandala's words, went out in quest of the dead. Out of this eventful cares and anxieties, his body became lean like a stick. Still he ran to and fro and calculated thus: "This dead body will fetch for its price 100 gold mohurs. Out of this belongs to the king, this to me, and this to the Chandala." So he thought constantly, and his state became awful. His face, arm, belly, and feet, and the other parts of body were all covered over with ashes and dust. The king wore a ragged cloth where 100 places were shown over. His toes were all besmeared with all sorts of flesh, marrow, fat, and other things. He began to satisfy his hunger out of the food that was prepared for all sorts of dead bodies, and taking their garlands, he encircled his head with them. Day and night he did not sleep, and always he sighed and sighed, crying, "Alas, alas!" Thus 1 year passed away, as if it had been 300 years. Here ends the 24th chapter on the 7th book, on the stay of Harishchandra in the burning ground, in the Maha Puranam, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharshi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangalakali, Bhadrakali Kapari, Durga Kashima Shiktati Swaswara. Om Tua Mata Chapitatu.